Welcome to a WJMN Local 3 special presentation, honoring local women who make an impact on our community.
Good evening and welcome to our special presentation in honor of National Women's Month, Remarkable Women. I'm Rebecca Bartlemay.
And I'm Brianna McLean. Tonight we'll share stories about women in the Upper Peninsula who help make this great place that we call home.
Before we jump into highlighting specific women, we'll start in Dickinson County with the women's health care in the VA system. Local 3's Peter Curry has more.
Elizabeth Paling was a combat medic for the U.S. Army from 1985 to 1988. She has witnessed firsthand the changes since her time of service.
We can't do absolutely everything all the males can do, but there is so much that women in general can contribute to all areas. I just bought little female Army soldier men online this morning because it's Women's History Month and they're available. And it would have been way cool to see that 20 years ago, but the movement is phenomenal. Women are standing up for themselves. Women are gaining access to things that we didn't have. My daughter has so many more opportunities than I had, and I thought I had a lot of opportunities in the 80s, but it's moving, and it's a great thing. And to recognize the importance that women have in our country, in our service, in the workforce, it's just very exciting times to see everything.
It's her experience that makes Paling the perfect person to serve as the Women's Health Medical Director at the Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center.
One of the neat things about the VA system is that they monitor, do our patients trust us? They really look at it. It's important. And when a facility or an organization looks at those things, that shows that they really care about what we're doing.
Less than half of all women veterans were enrolled in VA care last year. Of those women, about 4 out of every 5 said that they trust the care they are getting. Paling makes it her job to see those numbers go up.
Oscar G. Johnson VA Hospital the priority is females, making sure they're comfortable, making sure we're getting access to the care that they need. I have not been told no as far as trying to do anything for my female veterans, and it's just a very exciting time. The leadership is very supportive of our females. We want them to come in. The leadership wants them to come in.
Services available for women veterans include and are not limited to comprehensive gender-specific primary and specialty care, disease prevention and screening, mental health, maternity care, and urgent care services.
We try to make it really comfortable as a safe place if they feel the need to have a safe place when they come in. A lot of times it's a hospital, it's a general healthcare setting. It's just predominantly male, which can be a little intimidating for some females. So here in my clinic, we have a waiting area where they can come and sit and be away from our general population of veterans that are downstairs. So that makes it nice. We have a little family waiting area with some toys right next door. So if they bring their kids in with their visits, they're more than welcome to sit there and let the kids play. We try to make it as comfortable for them as possible.
To all the women out there considering to join the military, Elizabeth has one piece of advice for you.
Be all you can be. It really speaks to the heart of everything. If you think you can do it, you can do it.
When we come back, we'll highlight finalists from our Remarkable Women of the Upper Peninsula contest.
Find out what makes Mary Lou and Joy special in their communities. Welcome back to our special presentation, Remarkable Women.
Back in December, we asked Local 3 viewers to tell us who they believe deserves to be the winner of our Remarkable Women of the Upper Peninsula contest.
After reviewing submissions, we narrowed it down to 4 finalists.
Here are 2 of them, Mary Lou and Joy.
I truly believe the saying, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
For Mary Lou Driesinga, it's been a life full of giving.
My parents taught us from an early age how to interact with our neighbors.
On this day, Mary Lou is doing some grocery shopping.
And a lot of them even call me Granny. And they'll say, what do you got for me? You need my help today? And I'll always say, what do you think? And they'll get a big grin on their face, and they'll say, yeah, I think you do. I says, you are right.
She helps run the concession stand at Ewan Trout Creek Schools.
I said, you know what, I would be willing to help you with that. Well, he just let me take it right over.
With no nearby restaurants, Mary Lou makes sure people find nourishment.
The lady that has done the school food program for many, many years, she has given me some of her recipes, and they've been excellent. Like, we make the best chili in the world, but it's her recipe. I can't take any credit for it.
For the students she works with, they get their fill of pizza, but Mary Lou offers them something extra.
I taught them that they were special. Every child is special, and I would always praise them no matter what they did.
It's always been a part of Mary Lou's life.
And there's always a positive way you can encourage them.
From being a counselor at Camp Michigami.
But I taught the girls to value their life. I taught them from the Bible how they were created, and that they were created for a purpose.
To teaching others the power of music.
And fortunately, we grew up in a church that was alive with music. We could just really make that organ hum.
Mary Lou lets her faith guide her to continue helping neighbors in need.
I was given your name by a friend of yours. I was wondering if you would have time to spend some time with my mother. My husband had just passed away, and I thought, you know what, maybe that'd be good for me. It turned 100 in November. I found her cookbooks, and I said, Lillian, you obviously like to cook and like to bake. Yes, that was my favorite thing to do. So out came the recipe books.
Mary Lou and her neighbor Lillian spend time together every other day.
We still stir everything by hand, and I let her do what she can because she's going to feel better that way.
It's just some of what makes Mary Lou Driesinga a remarkable woman.
Joy Pulich of Marquette's personal life, volunteerism, and career kind of all tie in together.
I work for the hospital. I'm a financial liaison. What that entitles is I help people with their bills. I help them find alternate sources to help pay for their bills.
One organization Joy can refer patients to is Cancer Care of Marquette County. She's also on the board for this cause, which includes a lot of fundraising to help cancer patients.
Cancer Care of Marquette County will help with medical costs, travel expenses, pharmaceutical bills if that arises. Cancer Care of Marquette County is here to help.
Joy has a deep connection to the cause.
Cancer has touched my family for a long time, and then 3.5 years ago I was diagnosed with cancer, went through my own breast cancer battle. I knew cancer was costly, but until I went through my own battle with it and became a survivor, I didn't realize actual cost.
Joy's mother, Ann, nominated her as a remarkable woman.
It seemed like when we first read it on the website that it was something that I really thought was important. She does a lot of really good things for people, and I guess it just sounded like it was made for her.
Ann told me that even though Joy was going through her own cancer battle, she always put others first.
I mean, she could sit inside and say, oh my gosh, this horrible cancer thing happened to me, and it isn't how she reacted to it.
Joy says she's had a double mastectomy, gone through chemotherapy, and is cancer-free. She's on the road to living a healthy life, but still continues helping those going through their journey with cancer. And Ann is definitely a proud mom.
You never know what your children are going to do, and when you see them doing something extraordinary, you're so proud, so amazed that this is how she reacted to something so terrible. It's so amazing.
What I do for my job and what I do for other people, I don't expect to be recognized for it. It's just who I am and what I do and what I enjoy doing. I think it's just the easiest thing to do something kind for somebody and to not expect anything back.
As we continue to meet our remarkable women of the Upper Peninsula, we'll show you why one Iron River woman was chosen as a finalist.
Denise's story when we come back. Welcome back. Now, Rebecca, you got to meet our next Remarkable Women finalist, correct?
I did. I met with Iron River's Denise Maloney in her preschool class, and it was easy to see that the biggest lesson she teaches her students is to be kind to one another.
We all remember pre-K, snack time, tiny chairs, and arts and crafts. Most of us have only been in it once, but Denise Maloney of Iron River has been in pre-K for 31 years.
I accepted this position teaching pre-K here at Western County Schools, fresh out of college. It was fall of 1989, and I loved the families, I loved the community, I loved the children, I loved the amazing staff that I've been blessed to work with, and I never left.
She also wears many hats throughout the community.
She's involved in, you name it, from church to school to youth groups to youth camps. She's everywhere. She's also very involved in her family. Her son was a senior at Michigan Tech this last year, and she spent the fall every weekend traveling to all of his games.
One of Denise's other roles is being the school's health and wellness coordinator.
Getting students moving and helping them to develop healthy lifestyle habits that carry them through long after they leave our hallways and classrooms. That's really important to me.
This also includes taking the time to write grants for funding and help coordinate events like 5Ks and walking programs to promote healthy lifestyles for students and their families.
What makes children move also makes them think. So they need to be moving, they need to be active, they need to learn about healthy nutrition habits and ways to exercise, and living in the UP, that's something that's really important too. So I've been able to help do a lot of really neat things with the support of our amazing staff.
Her friends say it's because of her heart and passion for the community that one person is able to do so much.
I have always said that Denise has been the best follow-through person that I know. I have good intentions of doing things, but I feel I don't follow through enough, and Denise always follows through. Whether it's somebody having a baby, a funeral, she's always there with meals.
Most recently, she had a child that moved here, I believe it was from Tennessee, and they needed winter clothes. She made sure that she reached out to people in the community for clothes, winter coats. She goes above and beyond to help everyone.
Even though Denise does so much for the community, she feels that her community has given her so much in return.
I've been blessed and to raise our family here, my husband and I. I think I've grown as a teacher in lots of areas. I didn't know I was going to be doing a lot of the other duties I've been assigned to do, but it's grown me as a person and as a professional. I always say I'm the lucky one.
White, brown, white, brown, white.
And while sitting in Denise's class, it was easy to see that the most important lesson she teaches her students is to be kind to one another.
At the end of the day, that is what it's about, is the life that we live every day, that we just try to help others and to reach out and to make our little corner of the world a better place.
Our last finalist, Savannah Rayner, is also the winner of our contest.
Stay tuned to hear why that is after the break. And now this next special lady is someone you had the pleasure of getting to know, right, Brianna?
Yes, Rebecca, I met Hancock native Savannah Rayner and was able to share her incredible story. Here's why Savannah is the winner of our Remarkable Women of the Upper Peninsula contest.
And I said my dream job would be to work with campus students with Relay for Life on the national level. And that's what I get to do now.
That is Savannah Rayner. She's a Hancock native who has been making her dream of working with the American Cancer Society a reality for over 11 years now. Her passion for leading the fight against cancer began when she was in high school, when she attended a Relay for Life event in Houghton.
It was so impactful that when I went to the high school track, and there was enough Luminaria bags that they went all the way around the inside of the track and the outside. And I was just like, that's crazy to think that there's that many, and every single one has a name on it, that there's that many people and that many bags in this little tiny area in the middle of nowhere, and it was just so impactful to see that.
After high school, she was a part of the Colleges Against Cancer chapter at Grand Valley State University. And her first job after college graduation was working with the American Cancer Society. Today, she works with volunteers all over the country to help organize events like Relay for Life. Savannah says 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with cancer, which has changed previously from 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women. Her goal is to make sure students know that what they're doing is important and impactful.
But especially when it was 1 in 2 men, a couple of years ago when I was kind of talking through this with an audience of students, I said, here's what that means to me. 1 in 2 men will be diagnosed at some point in their lives with cancer. That means one of my 2 little boys. It's extremely likely that one of them will hear those words. And that breaks my heart. Like, that breaks my heart. And so I said, you know, it's this whole audience of all these college students and their staff partners. I said, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do, because you're a part of changing that. So that means maybe that doesn't have to be their future, and that's not something that they have to worry about.
For Savannah, having a family history of cancer has fueled her passion for finding the cure for cancer. But being a part of the American Cancer Society for her goes much deeper than that.
American Cancer Society has been, I mean, like kind of like family for me. It's just been like such a constant through the last decade of my life that, yeah, I mean, it really feels like home.
Great story, Brianna. We had Savannah stop by one of our newscasts to let her know on live television that she won this award.
Congratulations, Savannah.
Still to come on our special presentation, we'll introduce you to the women of the Coast Guard.
We'll hear from the Marquette Station's Women of Power when we come back. Welcome back. With water all around us, the Coast Guard is an essential part of life in the UP.
I caught up with 2 women from the Coast Guard about their everyday life as women in this role. Here's more.
The United States Coast Guard has a long history of women playing roles in this branch of service. Currently at the Marquette Station, 2 women serve along the shores of Lake Superior to protect us that live around it.
I always wanted to serve in the military. I came from a military family. I love that the Coast Guard allows me to work with the public really closely. I get to stay domestic and I get to stay in the States, so I can be closer to home as well. And I just love being able to perform a variety of missions, which is what the Coast Guard does.
At just 22 years old, Seaman Bryn Domingo moved to Marquette around Christmas time from South Carolina. She says as a woman, a typical day serving in the Coast Guard is no different than a man working in this role.
Typically right now, during ice season, we are checking the status of ice, making sure that it's safe for people to go out for their activities like fishing, hiking. We're also preparing the boats for boat season, so we're working on boater safety, public outreach with the citizens, and making sure that the boats are ready to be serviced and out for missions in the summertime.
20-year-old Seaman Ashlyn Goff of Florida also serves at the U.S. Coast Guard Marquette Station.
I was looking into the military career, wasn't quite sure which branch. I actually went to every branch to check it out and decided the Coast Guard was the best fit for me.
Goff says the women are treated equally.
We're not any different. We are held to the same standards as the men, so we play the same critical role as each and every person.
The 2 say it's pretty diverse and even of how many men and women serve in the Coast Guard.
I would let women know that they are allowed to harvest their full potential in the Coast Guard. We are very lucky that we are able to do whatever we want to do, how we want to do it, and have the support of our command. So if someone is interested in the Coast Guard, I highly recommend that they try it out, because you never know what kinds of things you'll get into, and your doors will open to many different opportunities.
Thank you for joining us for this special Local 3 presentation, Remarkable Women. I'm Brianna McLean.
And I'm Rebecca Bartlemay. Have a good evening.